Dark secrets don't stay buried forever. And in Beauty and Black Season 2, episodes 5 to 8, the past finally claws its way back to the surface. What begins as whispers soon grows into thunder, shaking relationships, exposing hidden betrayals, and dragging every character deeper into the storm. If you thought the first 4 episodes were just setting the stage, you'll see now this is where the drama sharpens its teeth. Episodes 5 to 8 of Beauty in Black are not just a continuation of the story. They feel like a turning point, a shift in energy that demands the audience's full attention. Up until this moment, the series had been carefully weaving together mysteries, hints of rivalry, and the slow reveal of ambition and love colliding. But now the tempo rises. We are no longer watching characters prepare for conflict. We are watching them step right into the fire to truly understand the weight of episodes 5 to 8. Let's take one step back. In the first 4 episodes, we saw threads of jealousy, broken trust, and ambitions disguised as loyalty. Characters were tested, but the consequences were mild compared to what is unleashed now. Those early episodes were the storm clouds gathering. Episodes 5 to 8? That's when the lightning strikes. Episode 5 opens with a chilling reminder that silence can be louder than words. A key character withdraws, holding back information that everyone desperately wants, and this silence itself becomes the weapon. The tension is no longer about who will act, but about who will break first. This shift in storytelling gives the episode a sharper edge. Every glance feels suspicious, every pause feels heavy with meaning. Episode 6 begins to peel back the layers of deception. Secrets that were only hinted at before are laid bare, and the impact is immediate. Characters who once seemed untouchable suddenly look vulnerable. Power starts to slip from the hands of those who believe they had control. And what's fascinating is the way the show balances this exposure. Truth is revealed, but not in full. Just enough is shown to destroy comfort, but enough remains hidden to keep us gasping. By episode 7, the relationships between the characters start to fracture under the weight of truth and half-truths. Alliances weaken. The emotional connections that once seemed strong begin to show cracks. What makes this episode so gripping is the unpredictability. You never know who will turn next, or which secret will cut the deepest. The storytelling thrives on this unpredictability, dragging the audience into a constant state of unease. Then episode 8, arguably the most explosive of this group, delivers a climax that doesn't just end the storyline, but reshapes the entire season. Betrayal is not only exposed, it is acted upon. The pace quickens, the emotions spill over, and the consequences ripple through every relationship we have been following. What had been simmering in the background finally boils over, and the aftermath leaves us stunned. Taken together, episodes 5 to 8 form a perfect arc. They begin with silence and suspicion, rise into revelation and tension, fracture into distrust, and finally explode in betrayal. This is why these episodes feel like the real heartbeat of the season. They are not filler. They are the backbone. Without them, the rest of the season would lack weight. And while the drama itself is captivating, the show does something more subtle in these episodes. It challenges us, the audience, to think about the true cost of power and the fragility of trust. Characters may play their games on screen, but the emotions jealousy, loyalty, fear, betrayal are universal. That's what makes this stretch of the story so gripping. It is not just about what happens next, but about how we feel while watching it happen. These episodes leave us with questions burning in our minds. Who can be trusted now? How far will each character go to protect themselves? And most importantly, is there still room for love in a world where betrayal has become the language everyone speaks? Episode 5 begins not with chaos, but with quiet. Yet, it is the kind of quiet that makes you lean closer, because you know something dangerous hides beneath it. A character who once commanded attention now fades into silence, but that silence feels louder than any outburst. Conversations stop midway, looks are exchanged, and we realize that silence itself has become a weapon. This episode teaches us that words are not the only way to wound. Sometimes withholding the truth is deadlier than a confession. As viewers, we are pulled into this unease, questioning not just what is being hidden, But why it matters so much, the heart of episode 5 beats in shadows, with small gestures carrying heavy meaning. A hand withdrawn too quickly, a glance that lingers too long, a smile that hides more than it reveals. These subtle choices set the stage for the bigger storm that is coming. By the end of the episode, suspicion has spread like fire. Every character looks like they are both hunter and prey, and we are left with the haunting feeling that trust has already begun to crumble. Even if no one dares admit it yet, then comes episode 6, a shift from silence to revelation. The curtain is pulled back, and secrets we suspected suddenly stand in the open. What makes this episode powerful is not just what is revealed, but how those revelations land. The strong become fragile, the confident lose balance. For every truth that is spoken, a relationship bends under the weight of it. The drama sharpens here, because the truth is not offered gently, it crashes into the story like a stone through glass. And as each shard falls, we realize the picture we thought we understood was never whole to begin with, but episode 6 does not reveal everything. It chooses its weapons carefully. Just enough truth is spoken to poison the air, but not enough to give clarity. The brilliance lies in this half-truth atmosphere. Viewers are left unsettled, pulled in deeper, desperate to know what else is being concealed. It is like standing in a room with too many doors, danger waits behind each one. But you cannot tell which door will open first. Episode 7 arrives, and the fallout begins. What was once strong starts to fracture. Relationships that seemed unshakable bend and break under suspicion. Friends hesitate. Lovers doubt. Rivals circle closer. The weight of unspoken tension finally drags the characters into open conflict. And it is not just words exchanged here, there is an emotional violence to episode 7 that feels sharper than any physical blow. We see faces hardened by betrayal, eyes clouded by fear, and voices trembling with anger. This is the episode where trust, already fragile, finally begins to collapse. The most striking element of episode 7 is its unpredictability. Just when you believe a character has revealed their full hand, they pull back and shift the game. Allegiances blur. Motives become tangled. We are left on the edge of our seats, not because we know what will happen, but because we finally admit we have no idea who can be trusted anymore. By the end, one thing is clear: no one is innocent and no one is safe. And then, episode 8, the storm that has been brewing finally breaks open. If episode 5 was silence, and episode 6 was revelation, and episode 7 was fracture, episode 8 is fire. Here, betrayal does not hide in whispers or glances. It erupts. The masks are ripped away, and choices are made that cannot be undone. The pacing is relentless, moving faster and faster as every hidden motive explodes into action. Episode 8 carries the feeling of finality, as though it marks the end of one chapter and the violent beginning of another. A betrayal we thought might be revealed later is dragged out into the open now, shocking both the characters and us, the audience. The emotional impact is devastating. Those who thought they had the upper hand are left vulnerable, and those who were underestimated step into power. By the final scene, the air feels scorched, nothing looks the same anymore. And the cost of these betrayals hangs heavy over everyone. Taken together, these 4 episodes move like a perfect symphony. Episode 5 whispers, episode 6 exposes, episode 7 fractures, and episode 8 burns. Each one feeds the next, building tension, emotion, and consequence. This is storytelling at its most precise, the kind that keeps you watching not just to see what happens, but to feel every beat of it along the way. As viewers, we leave episode 8 with a single certainty: the game is changed forever. Whatever comes next, it will not be built on trust, but on the ashes of betrayal. And that realization alone is enough to keep us desperate for the next episode. The power of Beauty in Black has never only come from the plot. It comes from its characters, flawed, ambitious, vulnerable, and often unpredictable. In episodes 5 to 8, their true colors begin to shine through the cracks. What we see is not only drama for the sake of storytelling, but an unfolding study of human nature itself. Every character becomes a mirror reflecting desires we all recognize: the hunger for control, the fear of betrayal, the longing to be seen, and the pain of rejection, let's begin with the central figure, the one who seems caught between silence and truth. This character reminds us that sometimes power does not come from speaking, but from withholding. In episode 5, their silence creates ripples, shaking the confidence of everyone around them. What makes this character so fascinating is their ability to weaponize vulnerability. They do not raise their voice. They do not lash out, but the absence of words creates suspicion more dangerous than a direct attack. In this way, they embody the theme of control through restraint. Another character, once viewed as loyal, begins to drift into shadows of doubt. By episode 6, they show us that loyalty is not a permanent state, but a choice made again and again. This is where the theme of betrayal begins to take root. Watching their slow shift from trust to suspicion is painful, but it feels real. It is a reminder that betrayal rarely arrives suddenly. It grows quietly in the soil of hurt and misunderstanding. This character's transformation illustrates how easily love can twist into doubt, and how doubt, once planted, rarely dies. Episode 7 brings focus to those who thrive in chaos. Some characters seem almost energized by the fractures in relationships. Instead of being crushed by tension, they rise within it, finding new strength in others' weaknesses. This exposes another theme of the series, survival through adaptability. Not everyone fights by holding power. Some fight by changing shape, slipping through cracks, and re-emerging stronger when others fall. These characters force us to think about our own responses to conflict. Do we break under it, or bend and reshape ourselves to survive? Then there is episode 8, where betrayal takes center stage. The character who commits the deepest act of treachery is not painted as purely evil. Instead, the writing gives us a glimpse into their motives, ambition, desperation, or perhaps revenge long delayed. This is what makes the betrayal cut so deep. It is not random, but rooted in human emotions we can almost sympathize with. Their decision reminds us of one of the central themes of the series, that betrayal is often born not from hate, but from love denied or trust broken long before. The sting of betrayal is sharpest when it comes from those closest to us, and episode 8 drives the truth home with brutal precision, beyond individual characters. The episodes explore broader themes that stretch across the entire season. Power, for instance, is shown not as a fixed possession, but as a shifting current. One moment, a character stands tall, controlling the room. The next, that same character is exposed, their power crumbling like sand through fingers. The show reminds us that power is never permanent. It is borrowed, it is fragile, and it is always at risk of being stolen. Another theme that echoes through these episodes is the fragility of trust. We see it in small ways: a lover's hesitation, a friend's second glance, a rival's sudden smile. Each moment chips away at the idea that trust can be whole. By the time episode 8 ends, the concept of trust feels almost like a memory, something that existed once but has no place in the new world these characters are shaping. The audience is left wondering, if trust is gone, what can possibly replace it? Fear? Control? Manipulation? Love, too, is tested in these episodes. Not the simple, romantic kind, but love in all its messy forms: love between friends, between family, between rivals who need each other more than they admit. Love here is not soft. It is dangerous because it makes people vulnerable. And in a world where betrayal has become the strongest weapon, vulnerability is almost a death sentence. The show's brilliance lies in showing us love not as comfort, but as risk. Even silence becomes a theme. Episode 5 proves that what is not said often carries more weight than what is spoken. Silence creates tension. Silence feeds suspicion. And silence, in many ways, becomes its own character, an invisible force driving people toward rash decisions and broken promises. Through these characters and themes, Beauty in Black delivers more than drama. It offers reflection. It asks us uncomfortable questions. What would we do if faced with the same choices? Could we stay loyal in a world of shifting power? Could we love when love exposes us to betrayal? Could we hold on to trust when everything around us teaches us to let go? Episodes 5 to 8 do not just move the story forward, they deepen it. They reveal the humanity behind every mask, the longing behind every betrayal, and the fragility behind every show of power. This is why the series grips so tightly. It is not just about characters in a fictional world, but about truths that echo far beyond the screen. Episodes 5 to 8 of Beauty and Black stand out as the true heartbeat of Season 2. They are the kind of episodes that change how you look at everything that came before, while also shaping your hunger for what comes next. As a reviewer, I have to pause here and say this stretch of the story feels like the writers finally dropped the gloves. The gentle build-up of episodes 1 to 4 has been replaced with raw, sharp emotion. The show no longer whispers about betrayal or power struggles, it screams them into our faces. And honestly, that's exactly what makes these episodes so addictive from a storytelling point of view. These episodes are near perfect in pacing. Episode 5 eases us in with silence, forcing us to feel the discomfort of unspoken truths. Episode 6 cracks open the surface, spilling secrets we suspected but never fully confirmed. Episode 7 breaks down relationships, tearing into emotions and leaving scars that cannot be ignored. And Episode 8, well, that is the knockout punch, where betrayal is not just a theme, but an act that cannot be taken back. The steady climb from silence to explosion is why I believe Episodes 5 to 8 are not filler, they are the very structure holding the season together. What works so brilliantly is the emotional weight. Unlike shows that throw in twists simply for shock value, Beauty and Black makes every revelation feel earned. When a betrayal happens, it is not just a plot twist, it is a wound that bleeds across the entire cast. When a character withholds the truth, it feels believable, because the fear of exposure is something we can all understand. The show does not need special effects or over-the-top spectacle. The drama lives in the eyes, the pauses, and the choices the characters make when they have no good options left. If I had to point out weaknesses, I would say some moments lean heavily on mystery for the sake of stretching suspense. At times, you feel like the writers are teasing just a little too long before giving us answers. But even then, the tension feels intentional, as though the show wants us to live in discomfort, just like the characters. It's frustrating, yes, but it's the kind of frustration that keeps us glued to the screen, waiting for the next revelation. Now, let's speculate. After Episode 8, the stage has been completely reshaped. Betrayals are no longer whispers, they are open wounds. Trust is broken beyond repair. This means the next episodes cannot return to peace. They must build on the ashes left behind. I expect that power will begin to shift more violently now. Those who seemed weak will rise in unexpected ways, while those who believed themselves untouchable may find their downfall waiting just around the corner. One of the biggest questions left dangling is, can love survive in this world anymore? We have seen love tested, cracked, and almost destroyed by betrayal. Yet love is also the most dangerous weapon in the series. It makes people vulnerable, but it also drives them to act with courage or even desperation. I believe future episodes will push this theme further. We might see a character sacrifice everything for love, even while knowing that love is what made them weak. Another speculation: alliances will not hold. The betrayals of Episode 8 have already shown us that promises mean nothing in this world. Moving forward, I expect shifting allegiances in almost every episode. Characters will team up out of necessity, not loyalty, and those temporary bonds will carry explosive consequences. Who will betray next? Who will rise above the chaos? Those are the burning questions that make us impatient for the next chapter. But here's the beauty of it. Beauty and Black is not just about plot twists, it's about reflection. As viewers, we are left with questions that feel personal. Would we betray if it meant survival? Would we risk love even if betrayal was certain? Would we remain silent if the truth could destroy everything we cared for? The show makes us uncomfortable because it does not offer simple answers. Instead, it throws us into the same storm as the characters, leaving us to wrestle with those questions ourselves. In closing, Episodes 5 to 8 prove why this series is one of the most compelling dramas on screen right now. They are bold, sharp, and unapologetic. They test every character, every relationship, and every ounce of trust we thought existed. As a reviewer, I give these episodes a high mark, not because they are flawless, but because they make us feel. And in drama, feeling is everything. So I leave you with this: the game has changed, the pieces have shifted, and the board is covered in betrayal. What comes next will not be about who wins, it will be about who survives. If you're watching this, I want to know, who do you think will rise after the fallout of episode 8? Who still has the strength to hold power, and who will collapse under the weight of their own lies? Share your thoughts below, because the conversation is just as thrilling as the show itself. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into Beauty and Black Season 2 episodes 5 to 8, don't forget to stay tuned. The storm is only beginning, and I'll be here to unravel every twist and every betrayal with you. Until then, hold your breath, because in this world, even silence can kill.